All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, Rozer. And I just asked you to talk to me about Ben Fictor's perfect run. So you were about to go into a whole thing. I was like, I can't not record this. So have at it. Tell me about his perfect run, undefeated.
The one key point that I'll take away is where he said, "Oh, this is unbeatable. Maybe 30 seconds." But I didn't want to go into Spider Cave because I'm scared of spiders. And it's just I can't even have words about that run.
It's an awful run, but it's also the first run, so he gets points for being first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's really his. I gotta say this, and this is gonna come across in the video that like we're kind of shitting on it a little bit, but it's just his attitude about it. It's his attitude that it's the perfect run, and he defended that run in forum threads for like at least I found one at least like up until like 2014.
2014, we were already on like sub 130.
Yeah,
I think by that point, and like I just don't see how he could have defended it. I'm just reading through the comments now, and he's like, less than an hour and a half isn't possible. Less than 2 hours isn't possible. And to find out that he's still defending it when we were at less than an hour and a half is just mind blowing. Like 100% was done quicker than that in 2014. 100% was done in under 2 hours in 2014.
Honestly, it's not even a high bar, right? Because Zenik gets really shaves like 40 minutes off by turning off the hints and roll jumping and going into Spider Cave. Like that's 40 minutes. Oh, really quick also. I'm sorry. I want you to tell all this. But for a segmented run, God, his segments are awful. That's the other sin, right? Because it's a segmented run.
So, I will say about that though, a segmented run, but it was also had to be recorded onto like VHS tapes back in 2005. There were no like cheap ways of getting composite onto a computer. It was I remember setting up VHS copies ages ago, and after a certain while, even if you get rewritable VHSs, I've said VHS way too many times, even if you get rewritable ones, they do not last forever, and the cost does add up. So it may be that he did what he thought was an okay one, but to defend it still after that is, yeah, I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of an insight into why.
Right.
It is
great. No, you're fine. You're fine. It's great thinking about it because I think we had another video where someone was doing runs and we have proof that she did runs and she's like the first one, but she couldn't find the tape. It was like in her garage. We had to we were like, hey, if you ever have a garage sale, call us and like let us see the tape. It's like the first recorded run of like Donkey Kong Country 2. It was on a VHS in Essentia's garage. So when do you hop in? When do you join?
I actually really like my kind of intro into speedrunning Jack story. So I started off doing Portal ILs just for myself. Like I didn't really run the full game and I didn't upload them anywhere. But I was really into Jack and Daxter, and I searched on, I think it was Justin TV, or it may have just switched over to Twitch at that time. This would have been late 2012. And saw Zeppelins playing Jack and Daxter, doing his any% attempts. And I said to him, the Flut cell in Boggy Swamp. Here's a quicker way of getting it. And I also said, I'm planning on running this game as well myself in the future. And one of the comments that he gave to me a little bit later on was he knew that I was actually serious about running it when I gave him a comment which helped him to save time. Because you get a lot of people that come in and say, I'm planning on running this game, blah, blah, and then they either don't or they do it for a little bit and then give up. And he was like, I knew he'd be a runner of the game when I actually found something that saved time. And I still remember that comment from him, and I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always vague threats. Like, everyone's like, oh, I'll do this. I'll do this. It's like, no, you won't. It's like, no, I will. No.
Yeah. Just a quick personal story.
Go ahead.
So we recently, like within the past half a year, we had somebody come into the Jack Speedrunning Discord and just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get world record," and I'm gonna go straight for any percent. And he was like, just like, "Oh, nice, cool, yeah. Recommend that you don't go for any percent straight away, considering this is not a game that you've played regularly. It's just you enjoyed the speedrun, so you thought you'd try speedrunning it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, focus on a longer category, get your movement good. Don't go straight for any percent." And I wasn't. We encouraged him. Obviously, he wanted to do it. We gave him all the help that we could, but his attitude going in, where he's like, "I'm gonna get world record." It's like, dude, this is a lot harder than you think. The any percent route now is just brutal, especially if you're going straight into it.
I think it was Headstrong said that when V1 version of Lava Skip was discovered, they were like, people would come up and be like, I don't care how long it takes, I'm gonna grind and I'm gonna do V1 RTA. And she was like, knock yourself out. Go ahead. If you want to, you can go right ahead. It's not happening.
Yeah. Invisible out of bounds ledge grabs. There's like 50 of them as well.
Everyone's really tough until they fail it like 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, this is actually more difficult than I thought it would be.
Oh, definitely. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to say that about
sure.
But okay, so yeah, that's kind of how I came into the scene. I did not do a lot of any percent because I wasn't a fan of keeping my orbs up to, like, keeping an eye on my orb counts and making sure that I had enough to buy the cells at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I went straight for 100% and knocked that down.
Fair. Right on. Okay. So, excuse me. And that was, I'm sorry, you said the year, but I am spacing on it. It was
so mid to late 2012.
Mid to late 2012. So that's like Zeppelin's is the record holder at the end of 2012. Who else is there at the time? Like, who else is around?
For Jack 1?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we had like 12-year-old Ricky, right? So
yeah. So Ricky was like a watcher of Zeppelins, and he was also a player of 2 and 3, mainly 3. Like, Ricky absolutely beasted Jack 3. He was so good, I should say, because he's still playing now.
Right.
Just pulling up a document very quickly. Pulled up the wrong document. That is also the wrong document.
Yeah, take your time.
It was one that I sent to you, actually. Don't worry about it. I was just going to say there were a couple of other names like Batachu. Headstrong did come around in like 2013, I think. I wish I had this document. There it is.
There we go. Cooking with gas now.
So someone made a website, well, something called Dab Bible. Okay. So Priya DF, Franson, Bonesaw, Greg, Sultra, Ababob, Laponye, and Tom Jack. Those were all Jack community members in 2012.
Send me that list of names if you can in a DM. I want to write that down. I want to put that in there.
Yeah,
I want to work that in. One of the things that I think is like really, I appreciate that. One of the things that I think is like really powerful about like telling speedrun history is naming as many people as possible. Like if your history only names like 4 people, those better be the only fucking 4 people in the goddamn video, because it's never just 4 people, right? Like
oh yeah.
Like where would any like, Josh doesn't have this crazy grind in 2019 if Bobby doesn't find Fire Canyon Skip and Luigi doesn't do it first.
Exactly.
Like, you can't, and yeah, I guess you would mention Luigi because they had a record, but it's like you got to mention everybody. All the pieces matter.
Yeah, especially the people you don't think about. Like Franson did a load of runs. I think he was like solid second place for quite a while. And Ababob like literally came over with a good computer and an emulator, tested a load of stuff for us over all 3 games over the course of about a year, and then disappeared. He's still around, but not in the Jack community anymore.
Someone told me that he found Bill Braid told me he found one of the okay. Hang on. What did Bill tell me?
So he found Zoom walking in Jack 1.
Yes.
And then in Jack 2 he found is it 2? No, in Jack 3 he found a way to skip the rotators. So there was an Abba Bounce. Sorry, it's
Abba Bounce, yes.
Yeah, he found Abba Bounce. Forgot the name of it.
Oh, okay. Bill, according to Bill, he found how to get the power cell with piggyback clip in Lost Precursor City.
Ababob did. I don't doubt that.
Yeah. You're like the closest thing I can get to a verification on some earlier stuff, so I'll take that as a yes. Bill was very sure that was the case. We're skipping around a little bit. Talk to me about Zeppelins, right? Because I haven't had really anyone tell me about Zeppelins, except Bloppy said he was a New Zealander, which I didn't know, and is probably the most information I have on Zeppelins.
So, as I said previously, he's very blunt. He was very to the point. He would always say his mind, and I don't know if was just him, or if it was a New Zealand thing. But yeah, if you said something stupid, he'd call you out for it. And I don't know, he was just he's actually like really good friends to the community. I unfortunately haven't spoken to him for quite a while because he kind of drifted off. But one of my favorite moments was his shaving streams, where he got up a set of splits and he'd see how quickly he could shave himself with like a wet shave as well, not even like an electric razor, a proper wet shaving.
Oh my goodness!
And he was just a fun person to talk to, and as long as you didn't try and, I was going to say, he was a fun person to talk to as long as you didn't try and bullshit him.
They can't bullshit a bullshitter, right?
Yeah.
No, straight to the point. One of the things that puts him over the top, so to speak, is that he has the benefit of save and load which is like the first big thing. It's like hardly a trick, but it is a trick. Talk to me about save and load, and then what save and load did for Zeppelins.
Let me get my thoughts.
Yeah, take your time.
Gear.
If it helps you, I am reading off the outline.
Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to pull up as well. Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, and we are on page at the bottom of page 3, or at the top of page 4.
Can I see what page number I'm on? It doesn't.
If you scroll on the far right, it should tell you like 4 of 20.
Yeah,
just
cool.
please.
So yeah, I don't think you put it here. So Zeppelins did have the benefit of save and load. So he did, and start again. Zeppelins did have the benefit of save and load, and he also, I believe, was the first time that the intro cutscene was skipped. So he knew that his 132 wasn't up to scratch for against Zenith Revies because he had the time basically handed over to him by skipping the cutscene, skipping the whole of Citadel.
Yeah, so tell me about that. So what is supposed to normally happen in the Citadel? Tell me like there's a third person here that doesn't know anything.
So when you enter the Citadel, Samos comes down and says you've got to free all the other sages and they'll be able to help you. So you've got 3 kind of trials, I guess. One for each of the sages, the red sage, the blue sage, and the yellow sage. And once those are completed, a set of platforms rise out of the ground, and you use those to get up to the green sage to free him. And by doing this save and load trick, which is literally after the intro cutscene, on certain versions of the game, just save and then load, and you spawn right outside the green sage.
That is so busted for no reason.
Yeah,
it's like there's no reason why it should be that way.
No. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can't even say why it works. It cycles through about 3 different checkpoints in the cutscene for some reason, and then just never resets it to the correct cutscene afterwards.
Yeah. I think a lot of this stuff makes sense now after like we have the benefit of knowing like more how like the game like does checkpoints and stuff. But still, like it doesn't make any damn sense. Like none of it makes sense.
Nope.
As like as much as it like is fun and it's like wow, who cares how it works? It saves time. I couldn't imagine running this game if you have to watch that damn cutscene with Samos in the beginning. I asked the grass, and the grass didn't remember. And then I asked the rocks, and the rocks did not remember. Even the rocks do not remember. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
like, I can't do that. That'd be so awful.
It's over 6 minutes long, and there's no benefit to it. So that is one thing that Zeppelins, he was just like, straight away, he was just, nah, we're not watching this. What's the difference between loading a 0% save file and playing off of that than actually watching the cutscene and then doing exactly the same movement afterwards? Doesn't affect anything. There's no movement in the cutscene. You can't speed it up or anything. What's the point of watching it? And you can kind of draw comparisons to Super Mario Sunshine. We say that again. You can kind of draw comparisons to Super Mario Sunshine because recently they've allowed, I believe, hacked files, which can help with the intro cutscene for that game. I think you still have to watch some of it. I don't really follow it.
I think that they basically add the time that it would take to watch the cutscene and do the one shine. and then that's where you start the timer, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like that you guys had an option to be like, okay, we can skip the intro cutscene by loading, right? And like you didn't have to do like the whole like hacked file thing, because that's not
fun.
It's a whole someone was telling me the other day, it's like, oh, in this game we hack the thing to get rid of the frame limiter. I'm like, okay, that sounds like you're like breaking the game. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's allowed. People allow it to happen, but just
Yeah. Yeah, the similar thing in Bioshock Infinite, where they have an item which is completely random, a random chance, and if you don't get it from this one single spawn point, your run's over because of how much it saves. So they've basically played a hacked game which has no differences except guaranteeing that this 1 in 20 chance happens every time.
There's something like that I mean, there's lots of examples, but there's one like that in like Resident Evil 3 where there was a locker, and if you open the locker, it's like completely random what weapon you get, and depending on what gun you get, you have to play the game and do the run completely differently. So like if you get like the Magnum or the revolver, you have to like do an entirely different route than if you get the shotgun. So people were like, hey, can we just make it so that we know which locker has the whatever in it? And they voted no. So that's like, all right, that's too pure. That's too uncut. Let's get back to it a little bit.
Yep.
So then Zeppelin's, obviously he knows that he beat him. He won, but he didn't beat him, right? The old famous Rocky line. So now it's like, because his movement wasn't as good as Zenix's, he just had the benefit of like 11 minutes of free time save.
Basically, yeah. So even though he saved 8 minutes on the run, it was still 3 minutes slower because of bad movement.
Right. Which is and then we like later that year, we get below sub 130, something that Ben never thought would be possible.
Yeah.
We do it. All right.
Quite easy. Sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, quite easily as well, to be honest, because I think Ricky wanted me to say something about this, or maybe he did as well. It's worth mentioning that back in those days, there weren't a lot of glitches. This was before things like climbing up the lighthouse. This was before... I'm trying to think of another example now. This was before climbing up the lighthouse. This was before boulder skip. It was very much focused on movement and just getting to where you need to go as quickly as possible. Let me rephrase that as well. It was very much focused on movement and routing.
Right. Yeah, because the game is not. I mean, it's basically Jak and Daxter the motion picture. For the most part, it's filled with cutscenes that you can't skip. Even if you've played the game a million times, you can't skip them.
Yep,
then there's no sequence breaks. There's nothing. You can't do anything out of order. You know, you can't go places early. You can barely you basically have to play the game casually fast in this beginning time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why Snowy Mountain was one of my favorite levels, because the one thing that we did have was Flood escape. So doing the whole of Snowy on the Flood was amazing because it was quick, and it was scary because if you'd lost the Flood, you either have to go back and get it, which a lot of the times was worth doing, or you would just have to do the rest of the level slower.
Right. Absolutely.
And oh my god, the Flood movement is amazing in Snowy. Well, anyway. Back then, maybe not. Still quicker.
So, I've got. I'm hoping you can kind of clear this up for me. I've gotten people that have said we made any percent no save and load because it was like a cheap thing. It was like it cheapened the speed run to have that, to basically have save like all that time at the end of the game by doing something so simple, right? Like you're cutting out a huge part of the game. And I've had other people say that has nothing to do with it at all. And God, what did they say? Hang on, I have it here.
I can tell you exactly why we did it.
Okay, go ahead.
So we created the no save and load category purely because some versions couldn't do the glitch, and there were other people that wanted to do the Citadel fully and be more pure about the speedrun.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that we noticed from it was there were areas that we did save and load out. One of these easiest examples is Sentinel Beach. And for the no save and load category, we simply replaced them with death warps.
Right.
Which then got replaced with just loads.
So it's entirely because it has nothing to do with like you guys didn't want to run it because it saved time. It's because it's version dependent. It's most black labels, but not all black labels. It's the platinum version for the PS2, not the PS3 version, which would have just come out, I think. And then the PS4 version can run it apparently, but the PS4 wasn't out. So
yeah, PS4 version 1.0. There's a list again of all the different versions that can play it somewhere on that wiki that I linked you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But yeah, in my opinion, it was just because some people wanted to do it and couldn't. So it's the same way we have no major skips now.
Right. Got it. All right. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make a note. I want to rewrite this paragraph in the script.
Yeah.
So how does death warping kind of make its way into any percent?
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to talk about what I did for 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming that they did it in any percent as well.
Sure.
Sorry.
Take your time.
So one example of a good death warp was, as I said, Sentinel Beach. And what you would do is get the max health off of the unblock the blockers cell, because they're blocking the green eco vents. So you actually go to 4 health rather than the default 3. And then what I would do is, as I'm roll jumping towards the Flut egg cell, take damage off of all of the dogs that are in the way. You could also take full damage at the end, and then it just became a case of once you got the cell, die off the dog, hope you get a good Daxter cutscene, and then respawn at the beginning of the beach.
Got it.
So the thing about Daxter cutscenes is that there are 11 different ones, and you got the quickest one, which is simply say goodnight, Jack, and then it's over.
Right. How much longer are they though?
And the longer one is 5 to 6 seconds, I believe.
Oh shit.
So say goodnight, Jack is less than a second to over 5 seconds. Not much, but it adds up.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Like, if you do it, you're like, oh yeah, I got like 6 bad death warps
Throughout the run, yeah. a lot of the times when you do the death warps, you got to try and land in like on certain textures.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in boggy, in boggy swamp, a lot of the floor is covered with a water plane, and if you die in that, you don't get a Daxter cutscene because the water plane would get in the way. So it was a lot of trying to die in the correct spots, while also dying quickly so that you'd actually get the benefit of the warp.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Okay. So after Zeppelins, and after we have the save and load and the new category, we have new kind of runners, kind of like getting closer to the top. Right, we have Prier and we have Bonesaw. We don't talk a lot about Prier here because we don't have video of it. So I guess the next run that we would be talking about is this Bonesaws. We don't have to talk about all of them, but I think there's a bunch of stuff found, right? Like, excuse me, I am like having like the worst day right now.
That's all right.
I am like earlier I like had all this like phlegm, and now I'm like hiccuping. I'm like, oh my god. All right.
No, don't worry. Hope you feel better.
I appreciate it. I don't know what the hell is going on. I need to like hit the reset button. Maybe I'm on demo mode. We have extended uppercut, and then we have boulder skip is found, and then they do green sage cutscene skip. Really quick, it says you found the green sage cutscene skip with Zeppelins, and I have had 4 people give me 4 different times of how much it saves. So you tell me how much time this cutscene skip saves, and that's the time that I'm gonna put in the video.
Okay. 1
Bill
minute 44.
It saves 1 minute and 44 seconds?
Yes, because that is the length of the cutscene. Take away the time to actually save and load, so 140.
Hang on. It's this one here, the one where we restart the console.
Oh, we're restarting the console version.
Yeah, like I think this is the OG, right?
Yeah.
I've heard 35. I've heard 20. Bill told me it depended on which version of the console you were using. The fat PS2 was slower than the slim, and he bought a slim to save more time, as he said.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. It varied depending on your hardware.
And this one in particular, it matters because we're restarting the console.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. I think that's so funny.
And loading your save file as well takes a while. In fact, loading your save file actually depends on your memory card as well. So I was using for a very long time a max memory 64 megabyte memory card.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, it got pointed out to me that I'm wasting a lot of time saving. Or it was pointed out to me that I was wasting a lot of time auto-saving. So when you buy the Oracle cells, I still had the save icon come up, so I couldn't buy the next Oracle cell.
Mm-hmm.
How much time did you lose? Sorry?
How much time were you losing?
Not a massive amount, but enough. And the worst thing about it is, as well, I have 4 memory cards because I had a run file, I had a 0% save file, and then I had 2 challenge files. And then on my second memory card, I had a Forbidden Jungle save at 0%, a Sentinel at 0%, and a Misty at 0%. On the third one, I had hub 2 levels. On the fourth one, I had hub 3 levels, so that I could practice all the different hubs.
Right.
And and I was using the slowest one for like 7 years.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
8 megabytes is not enough for a memory card.
It's not, but it's it's hilarious, man. I had that same memory card.
I've got it
Mega
here.
Max 64 megabyte one.
Yeah. It's still got my my username written onto it from when I took it to ESA.
That's amazing, dude.
All right. So I would say around 30 seconds.
Mm.
Do you know what? I could just test it for you right now.
Do it.
Because I got a 70k. So
I believe in you.
So we're saying the cutscene's 140. Oh, debug is so good. In fact, I could just be anywhere and just be like, "Yep, now I'm going to go on there." So
there you go.
I don't need 4 memory cards.
Amazing. It's actually great.
So we also found, like, quite shortly afterwards. Wait, are we talking like 2013 here or 2014? We're still on 2013, right?
Yes, we're at the end of 2013. Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up my live split very quickly.
Yeah, no, take your time.
I got a free Kira.
Damn Kira.
That's alright, because cutscene skips. So I don't have to watch that cutscene at least. Technically, I don't have to watch this cutscene either. Oh, nice. Perfect roll jump. Okay, so I'm going to start a timer on hitting the cell. It should have autosave on. Okay, and console restart. So as long as this is quicker than 1 minute 40, it saves time.
I like how we test it. This is like cutting edge.
Well, you wanted an accurate answer.
I would love an accurate answer.
Now I've just got a black screen.
Ruh-roh. And before debug mode's like, what are you trying to do?
No, because I restarted my console. Debug mode shouldn't affect it. Yikes, that's...
Yikersy.
Okay, well, let me try that again. It's fine, because we'd have to watch the cell cutscene anyway, and that's pretty much where I restarted, so we're just taking the time off of the cutscene. So, and besides, like I said, it's hardware differences as well. That's better. Okay, we're at a minute. Better be quick.
Go, console, go!
Black screen. 1:14. So 26 seconds. 25.
25.
25. So let's say 25.
All right, that's it. You heard
Officially
it here,
timed.
folks. The first ever SpeedDocs interview test. Tested time. Here we go. So, good.
That's the great thing about debug is, oh, what do I need to test? Okay, this. So, all right, I'll fly straight there. I will set it up, and then I'll just fly up to the end. Done.
At some point, I don't know exactly what year it was. You made a video saying that lava tube skip would never be found.
I did.
Talk to me about this video. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you still have it.
Oh, I still have it.
Yeah.
I haven't changed anything about it.
Talk to me about this video.
So I spent a long time trying to skip lava tube by just running up it. There are certain places in lava tube that you can stand without taking damage, and you can roll like between these if you take like one hit of damage, and then you can make it to the next place. So I made it to about halfway through. In the video, I actually say that I got further than I did. I don't know why. I must have just either thought that I'd got as far as I did or just straight up lied. And so, yeah, I showed, I think I've got this far, but you can't get any further because this bit here damages you. And you got to go through this huge bit without taking any damage. You can't pick up health in lava tube. There's no enemies to kill. There's not a massive cold spot. Yeah, not like any out of bounds were found in lava tube either. So yeah, lava tube is really, really long, and a lot of it damages you. So I said, lava tube skip is impossible.
So
because you can't, yeah.
Yeah. So it's impossible, right?
Yeah.
To your credit, we'll do what you did for Ben. Were there out of bounds known about at the time? Like, it's like not some like the game just didn't for a long period of time. That's not what the game was. It wasn't all these like. Some of these tricks are fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, definitely. So the out of bounds that we use now in LTS wasn't around when I made that video. And even if it was, it's no, in fact, no, it wasn't known about when I made that video. Because otherwise we would have done 50 invisible out of bounds ledge grabs. And I would have said, it is possible, just stupidly hard. Why would you crazy madman? Or mad girl in Headstrong's case, because she actually did.
She did. She did it in 2 segments. That is insane. I every time that someone talks to me about that, it's just more insane. So you make that video. Like I said, I didn't know exactly what year that was.
It says 7 years ago. 11th of October, 2013.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I can link it if you'd like.
Yeah, please send it to me. That's so crazy. That's like such a crazy, like, long while ago. I'm totally putting that in the script, by the way. I'm just letting you know. So.
Okay, so what I will say is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Ricky's video, but
I haven't watched Ricky's videos because I didn't want to be influenced by them.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm gonna finish writing the script and then I'm gonna watch.
Sure. So what Ricky did is he tastefully edited out the part where I lied about how far I got with a nice little cut showing it from like a different angle. So it had my audio of saying, this is how far I got. I couldn't get any further, with actually like a pan with the free cam mode over the actual point where we could get to rather than where I said we could get to.
Right, got it.
And I will freely admit that I got it wrong, lied, whatever. But yeah, tasteful editing would be nice.
Yeah, I'll do you good, bud. Um, so I think you helped me nail down a bunch of the early stuff. I kind of just want to ask you just like your like thoughts on people and things, like just um just kind of like some I don't know if quick takes is the right word, but like I said color commentary, kind of like just like colorful like opinions or anecdotes, and I said that to someone, and someone was like, "What the hell does that even mean?" I was like, "Oh God." All right, never mind. Don't worry about it. Talk to me about Bill Braid, because Bill has his like reign of benevolence, right? He has like a 13-month or 14-month like streak.
Yeah. See, this is what was worried about. I was high a lot of the time. Am I allowed to say that?
I love that you're so honest. Yes, you can. You can. Yeah.
Like a lot. While I was doing these runs, like to the point where there are some runs that I did, like halfway through, I'd turn off my webcam and just start smoking.
Oh my God, dude.
Because we had a 2.5 minute long cutscene to watch, so I had time to.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I was
you
quick
had time.
about it.
Yeah, pack a bowl.
So I don't actually remember interacting with a lot of people. Like specifically, I can't give you like anecdotes or like
Sure.
people, that kind of thing.
Well, certainly you've seen Bill run, you know, or if maybe you didn't. Oh, Rozer, buddy.
No, I can say something about Bill. So Bill.
This is one of my favorite interviews. Go ahead.
So Bill was an absolute monster. He just put in so much work into it. Like we're talking like daily streams for like the 3 or 4 months at the beginning of 2014, end of 2013, and he just ground the time down lower and lower. Like you'd see it's like 10 seconds shaved off here, 2 seconds shaved off here. But I think he did something like 20 new records over the course of less than a year, just grinding the time down. He really put in the work.
That's insane, yeah. Yeah. All right. How high were you for Headstrong?
So it was around 2015. Honestly, middle of 2014. I'd say end of 2014. I kind of started disappearing from the scene a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. I think I finally got a chance to show off my. Because I was a hundo runner. I put all my work into 100%. So I finally got the sub 2 hour in hundo, which unfortunately I think Bill Braid actually beat me to there as well. And I took the world record back about a week before I went to ESA 2014. And I actually messaged Bill Braid saying, "Can you like not take the world record back before I show this off on at a marathon?" Because I knew he was fully capable of just taking that world record so easily back.
Right.
And yeah, I showed 100% off at ESA 2014, and then I just kind of started slowly drifting out of the community.
So is this like a drift out and then you never came back kind of deal, or?
Oh hell no! 2017 I came back strong.
Okay. So we have So let's skip over some of the stuff in between, right?
Yeah, I mean I can talk about Headstrong as a person.
Yeah, go ahead. Either way, I kind of want some flavor, you know. Some sauce on my steak.
She never put sauce on a steak.
Hey, listen, I didn't come up with the idiom.
I guess it's not. Is it hollandaise? Is the right sauce?
I listen. I'm not into sauce on the steak either. I do like sea salt and ground pepper, fresh ground
Definitely.
pepper. Yeah.
Cast iron pan. Whoa.
Whoa.
Ooh, somebody
I
spelled
had
Salter's name wrong on this document.
on my document
No,
or your
the
document.
world record history document.
I found
They
out that
fixed that very
Zenek's name
quickly?
is Zenek's Reverie. I was like, God damn it! Like, I've been
Oh
calling
yeah,
him
no,
Weeb.
everyone got that wrong.
We had a thing. We had a thing. I'm gonna put CC on blast. He won't listen to this. He might listen to this. I'm sorry, CC. We did a video on Luigi's Mansion.
It is
and
Scenic Reverie.
Yeah, Reverie. Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
Putting CC on blast. Let's do this.
CC. So in the Luigi's Mansion video, there's a guy, and his name is Michael T00, like Michael 2, right?
Yeah.
But CC, for whatever reason, and I think someone might have spelled it wrong at one point, but someone put a 1 in there, so it looked like Michael T100. But on his layout, it said Michael T00. His name is Michael T00. Like, it never says 1 anywhere. It just said 1 in this, like, one little place. And he said it in the VO, and I said, hey, just letting you know, like, his name is not Michael T100. His name is Michael T00. And CC replied back to me, the 1 is part of the T. I said, what? He goes, I know, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't think that's true. And then after the video came out, the fucking poor guys in the Luigi's Mansion video being like, God damn, who the fuck is Michael T100? Felt so bad for the guy.
Oh no.
He was like, God damn it. It's like, this is my moment to shine. And then we named him wrong.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
I was like, man, I can't pull a Michael T100 here for my man Zenek's Reverie.
No, his name is Scenic Reverie, and
Yes.
I've just updated my document to change that.
It freaked me out. I'm like, man, I can't update this document. It's not mine. But I made a copy and updated my own. But anyway, yeah. So talk to me a little bit about Headstrong here.
Headstrong was another, like, just gem of a person. She was just like encouraging to all of the new runners, and as is kind of the case for this game, you need to put in the time into like the movements, because just getting from one place to another, it is a case of, do I punch to cover this gap, or do I have enough space to do a roll jump? And learning all of this movement takes a while. Or you could just learn the spacing of the jumps and come up with new movement on the fly. But
Yeah.
Headstrong again put in so much work, and she still does. Like, she's still a daily streamer as much as someone can.
Yeah.
And always just very encouraging as well. Like, if you ever go into her chat and say like hello, she just like and just really upbeat all the time.
Well, that's good. That's awesome. Exactly
I
what you
had my
want, right?
voice. Wasn't even that high.
Oh man. All right. So, in the time that you kind of were gone, they found Lava Tube Skip. They found the not RTA viable version, and then they found the RTA viable version. The non-RTA viable version is batshit stupid.
Yes. Yeah, so surprise.mp4 is kind of yeah, it just kind of turned into like an inside joke, like a meme, I guess. You'd put it about halfway down the iceberg. The people that know about it, that kind of thing.
Okay, sure.
But I was not actually around for surprise.mp4, but I believe they had, I think it was Mumble at the time. Everyone in a Mumble call watching this, and it was just I've watched it since, and it's like, yeah, no, no way.
I love it. So, let's see.
Do you know what? I'm trying to think of a bad thing to say about anybody in the community, but I really can't.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Oh yeah. It's we're kind of like a niche community. Like we don't get a lot of love at like marathons or video documentaries. So I'm kind of glad that we're doing this one.
Yeah, there's definitely a bias against PlayStation games.
Yeah, oh definitely. And
So,
do you know what? I think it's actually cultural. Like not really cultural, but in America, a lot of the games are like Nintendo and stuff like that. Whereas in Europe, it is leaning more towards like PlayStation and especially more retro consoles, things like the SNES, NES. What's the one with 3 buttons? Saturn, maybe?
Oh, maybe it was the Saturn, yeah.
I can't remember. I just remember the practice room at ESA 2014 being dominated by retro consoles at the time, 6 years ago, and PlayStation games. And
right. Well, the PlayStation 2 until the Wii was the best-selling console in the world, and until it was way longer than you thought it would be, but it was until 2016 they still made FIFA for the PS2.
Oh yeah.
Because it's that popular in Brazil, where they have 100,000 active units or something.
I think it was only 2019 as well where they finally closed the last server that was running PS2 games. Shout out to Jack X community who have put up their own server so that people can play Jack X online against each other.
That's nice. That's good. That's good to know. But my friend Adam, who who goes to ESA and he lives in the UK, and he told me his thing was yeah, it's more PS2, it's more PC game oriented, and the States is N64. It might be a Canada thing too. I'm not gonna exclude our neighbor to the north, but it's definitely if you look at the top 100 games, it's oh yeah, there's a lot of 90s kids in there playing Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64 and et al. So okay, so you come back in at 2017.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe it was just when Josh started running. I kind of came back. I think I came back at the. No, because I would have been around in 2016 because I saw the first Lava Tubes get run.
You had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, man. I hear you.
Yeah, I was keeping up with the community, but not really interacting with them, I'd say.
I hear you. I haven't played. I played. There was a donation incentive for me to play Pokemon Snap at Speed Doxathon, which was our charity event.
Yep.
And they met it, and that was the first time that I had played my main speed game in almost over a year.
Oh wow, nice.
So I'm a mod, but I'm all right. Everyone keep to yourselves. Everyone be good. Talk to me about Josh, because Josh was doing offline attempts in 2014, and then he did Potato Cam for a while. But yeah, talk to me about Josh.
Potato Cam, yes. Yeah, Josh came in very strong into the community, and he's part of the reason why the community has grown so much that it has, because again, he's just charismatic. You watch any of his streams and he's just always laughing to things that are going on. He will always say
Yeah.
things like "what the frick" instead of like actually swearing, and it's just adorable.
Yeah.
And yeah, he came in strong with, like you said, a well practiced movement. I think I actually said earlier, you need to put the grind in, and again, Josh is one of those people that did. And then he came along and he completely swept all 8 records.
Yeah, that's insane. For sure. I did a podcast with him. He's so electric. We had to cut out a huge part where it was just me and him making each other laugh. Like we it wasn't like telling jokes or saying anything funny. He was laughing and that made me laugh. And then me laughing made him laugh. So it was like a minute of just laughing. It was really he's a great guy.
Josh's laugh is so precious. Let me find a video for you. Because there's a clip of him playing. What was he playing? Among Us, obviously. He's playing Among Us, and he gets killed by somebody who had been marinating him for a while, and he's just like, "What the frick?" and leans backwards and falls off his chair.
Oh my god!
Like, okay,
the only way that could be better if it was the squish cam.
It is.
It's the squish cam.
Yeah, like seriously, watch like the first 10 seconds of this.
Hang on, I gotta watch this. Hang on. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing, dude.
It's so good.
That's so good, dude. Oh my god, hang on. I gotta send this to the editor. So when he gets to this part of the podcast, the interview, he has something that he knows why I'm laughing. Oh my goodness, dude.
So an easy way to find it, if just for anyone listening, go to Josh's chat, type in !pain.
Oh, I have the video. Yeah. That where he almost ties the record.
Oh no, that's this video here. But yeah, oh god, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hang
Jeez.
on. I'll go to his shit. Okay. Pain.
Yeah, and that's that one that.
Oh, this is the Among Us.
Yeah.
I love that, dude. I love that. Okay. Talk to me about so Josh and Jazz. Oh, all right. Yeah, we did lose a bot, but we're still in business. Craig left, but Georg holding it down. Talk to me about Jazz and Josh, because they kind of trade blows a little bit here in 2017. 2017 and 2018. They kind of like go back and forth with the record.
Yeah. So Jazz is one of the older runners as well. He's been around since about 2014 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he started out as a glitch hunter, and then started doing runs around that similar sort of time. But yeah, I can't really talk about Jazz much aside from like very recently, where he's still putting in the runs.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, nice person.
Yeah. Okay. I have a lot of people have already talked to me about Fire Canyon Skip, so unless you want to say something about Fire Canyon Skip, I have a great like Josh Payne explanation of all the all the nuance with Fire Canyon Skip. So, good.
Yeah, I got nothing really to add about Fire Canyon Skip. The only thing I will say is that I don't think I've ever even got the bounce at the beginning. It
Yeah.
is hard.
It's
But then again,
not for the faint of heart.
yeah, I've only attempted it like 10 times, so it's not surprising I haven't got it, but I thought I would have got it. It is hard just to start doing it, let alone
Right.
finish doing it. Yeah, if you've already got all the nuances, then
Yeah.
I can't even begin.
And really, the last thing I want to ask you is like, what is in store for the future? Like, what's the future of any percent? What's the future of Jack and Daxter, the speed game?
So,
It can be speculation on your part. It doesn't have to be like concrete stuff.
so the next obvious one is going to be Geyser skip. Okay, I'd say obvious one. Like, it's not going to be a thing that happens anytime soon. But we cut out the 72 cell border. We had already cut out the 40. So we cut out the 72 cell border.
Mhm.
We had already cut out the 45. I said border again. Boulder, blockade. That's the one. So we cut out the 72 cell blockade. We had already cut out the 45 cell blockade, and recently we'd cut out the 20 cell blockade. So the kind of joke is that the next blockade is the 4 cell blockade, because you can't get out of Geyser without getting those 4 cells. So it's just kind of a joke because we don't think it's going to happen. I personally have always held on to the belief that there will be a way of corrupting the portal warp somehow, so that instead of warping to Green Sage from Geyser Rock, you instead warp straight to the end. But again, there's no evidence that would even work.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems a lot of people have kind of latched onto something called Bridge Blast, which theoretically could work, but it's very, very random and takes a long time to set up. Mainly because the game starts running at 1 FPS. So you got to play for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes of full time at 1 frame per second. So whatever that turns into, like 15 minutes.
Right. I saw the task demonstration. I saw the video, and I don't remember who it was, but they're like, it's not even task viable.
No, it's not. It's aside from brute forcing it, because it's random. Yeah. So I believe A+ Start, YouTube glitch showcaser, did a video of Red Dead Redemption Bridge Blast, where, and it's very, very similar to that kind of thing, where the bridge just kind of freaks out, and if it freaks out in the correct way, it hits you and moves you all the way, and hopefully through a loading zone, which is still active in Citadel. Actually, I think it's End of Lava Tube is the only one that would work. I can't remember which one they said would work, but yeah, it's completely random, as far as we know anyway. And it doesn't help that Jack 1 specifically, does not emulate very well. It's getting a lot better in terms of emulation, but it's still not 100% accurate. Speaking of Jazz as well, I believe he's actually working on a new task of the game. I could not tell you any information about it, though.
I'll have to ask him.
Yeah, please do.
All right. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that I didn't ask you?
I'm sure I'd be able to think of some things.
Okay.
Just a few things I wanted to say, though.
Sure.
I don't mind this being recorded. Yeah, I feel really bad that I didn't do any percent back in the day, especially because of this. I'd like to have my name up there somewhere to be like, yes, I was a part of this great game.
Mm-hmm.
But especially with the absolute domination nowadays, I don't think I'm going to be on the leaderboard anytime soon. Yeah, and aside from that, I put in a lot of root work for like the routing, especially in the early days.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to toot my own horn, basically.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so back in the early days, something I never didn't get a chance to mention, actually, now I think about it. Something that Ricky said. Yeah, okay. So back in the early days, it did come down to routing the game. And two of the cells that got swapped out a lot were the 4th minor cell and the ambush in Boggy Swamp, purely because they were similar sort of times. It just depended on if you wanted to grind the orbs or not.
Right.
And even like back in the old days, like the routes were so bad. Like we did like the lightning moles in Precursor Basin, which involves a cutscene to trigger, and then involves chasing them around, which a lot of people still struggle with now. And you can do them very quickly, but if you get like 2 doubles, it's really good. We also did rings in the same level, Basin, and I believe the race was in there, and it was nice to root out all of the cutscenes, especially that came with it, but also just the slow cells in general.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is,
Go ahead.
I'm just looking through the documents to see if there's anything that I can point out. I reckon there is a period of some runs that we're missing, where Priya or PDF had a couple of world records at the time, but he doesn't remember them, and we've got no evidence that they exist.
Mm-hmm.
But there's about 8 months I reckon, of missing records.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
between Zeppelin's 125 and Priya's 116. Like, we don't even
Okay.
have video of Priya's 116, so there's probably a couple of records in there that are missing.
Okay. That's a weird one, right? Because it's like, man, I don't know. Man, it's like you would think you would have found them at some point, you know? Of
Yeah,
all the people looking.
This document took us like a week to to make.
Right. Yeah.
But to be honest, most of them we actually found by going through the histories of people's like highlights on Twitch. Because if they're uploaded to YouTube, they're either unlisted, so you can't just find them, or they're yeah.
As someone who has put together a lot of histories, like this was yeah.
Yeah, I think you said like how nice it was that we actually put in all this work beforehand.
Oh yeah, I mean one of the things that like we've done it for people in the past where we like they don't have a history, like they don't have anything written down, and then like we put it together, and then like we become like their historians, sort of like we like put together their history, and they're like, we didn't even know about that, and we're like, all right, here you go. You know, so
Yeah.
or like we found a couple of old Jack run, sorry, not Jack. We found old Fable runs on archive.org that the community didn't know about. So
that's where I scraped Ben Fitcher's run from.
Yeah.
Because I think even the actual videos were lost for a while.
Mm-hmm.
and I managed to find them and put them together into one video and upload it.
Right. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to mention? I mean, I'm definitely gonna make sure that you get in the video, buddy. I won't let you. I won't let you not get in the video.
Not really. Just want to say, if you need me to re-record any voice lines, I will, because I know that I kind of go and stutter a lot. So.
No, you're fine. There's a bunch of good stuff in here. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, so one more thing.
One more thing.
one more thing. You were just about to thank me for being here, but I want to thank you first. I just want to say I've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time. So I want to thank you for putting this all together and just being and like helping us all out with this. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing the finished product when it's done. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for thanking me. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. We had wanted to do this video a year ago. And I'm not going to say who it was, but we were told, oh, you can't touch it because somebody else is making it. And we're like, okay. And then it was right during our charity event that I got a message from Headstrong being like, hey, do you want to make this video? And I was like, do I? Like, hell yeah, let's do it. I thought so-and-so was making it. No, he quit.
Yeah, I do know who you're on about, and I'm not going to name drop either.
No, we can talk about it after we end, but
yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for being on.
Having
really
me.
Appreciate it. Yeah, let me go ahead and kill the bot here.